One more sleep until Super Bowl 60. This is our Super Bowl special edition of the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns.
Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome to the Fumblerooski podcast by Power 88 and Secret Weapon Consulting. I'm Adam Wright with CJ Medeiros. Chris is out tonight. This is our 6th annual. We were going through these, and I know that we've covered this many Super Bowls, but it's just mind-boggling that we have done this many already. Feels like yesterday that we just started this podcast, CJ. And again, we started this show right after our favorite team, the New England Patriots, started sucking. It was literally the 2020 season when we started doing it. We started it right before the playoffs of the 2020 season. That was when Brady won his 7th ring. But it was the year after the last truly competitive season. I don't count 2021. And here we are after, I don't want to say suffering because, 5 years of being bad isn't that bad. It's not. I get it. But after covering 5 years of the NFL, a league where your favorite team sucks, covering it, not just watching, covering it. It's great. I love football, but I'm really, really happy that the Patriots are back in it. And I know it hasn't been a lot of time, but for covering football nonstop, year round, for 5 years, now 6 Super Bowls, I'm happy that the Patriots are back in it. And the Seattle Seahawks squaring off against the New England Patriots for the second time. The other time was obviously Super Bowl 49. My personal favorite Super Bowl of all time. I believe that's the greatest game of all time. You got everything in it. On NBC at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. I actually think that's a great duo. I miss Al Michaels, but I think a lot of you can kind of see how Al Michaels is now on Amazon Prime.
In his defense, it's Thursday night football.
But you're hard
there. But you got a point.
You can't do it that way, especially since we have gotten the Thursday night football games. The quality of the game has gotten so much better lately. In recent years, and we get some classics, and Al Michaels can't keep up anymore. I think he needs to hang it up. Either way,
he also sounds just
Chris Collinsworth, such a great duo. I really like Chris Collinsworth, contrary to popular opinion about him.
Now here's a guy that likes Chris Collinsworth. I'm sorry, I had to say that.
And listen, I understand his obsession with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, but I tend to think he gives pretty good analysis. He starts with "now here's a guy" in every other sentence, but I think he's pretty good. With that being said, we're going to get to our overall prediction for how this game is going to go, but we have a fun show for you guys today. So for starters, we're going to go over our favorite Super Bowl memories. We're going to start with that right now, but NFL prop bets right after that. We're going to do our own food draft. And since we don't have 3 or 4 of us, it's just the 2 of us, I think we're just going to pick 4 dishes off the plate.
Absolutely. Yeah, that works.
And if we have the same, we have the same. Just pick 4 things. Final Super Bowl predictions. Give a score, too. See how close we can get here. But as of right now, the Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites. The point total is at 45.5. That's the spread as of right now. So it's not double digits. It's not necessarily a close. It's not necessarily. The Seahawks are clear favorites, and they kind of deserve so. But before we get to that, I want to go over our favorite Super Bowl memories. CJ, I'll let you get into yours, and then I'll touch on mine.
Of course. So we just talking about the game itself or anything?
Just give me your memory. Give me your perspective. We already know how the game went. But
Okay, so
tell me your perspective, how you felt about it. What it means to you, all of that stuff. Everyone knows how the game went.
Yeah. So for me, it has to be the ending and subsequent realization that they've won after Super Bowl 53. I know it wasn't the most entertaining Super Bowl or the flashiest or anything, but it was nice that there was a sense of finality to it, especially because they lost in a heartbreaker to the underdog Eagles team the year before. And especially for me, because, I was in Delaware at the time. It's where I grew up mostly, which is like, and I grew up like about an hour away from Philly. And, my school's crawling with Eagles fans. I'm like, oh, God, please let New England win. So then they win. And just like immediately, it's like, oh, that's sick. We've tied Pittsburgh. I'm happy. I'm happy. My dad had like a confetti gun that he like fired off as well, like in the basement. It was really cool. And, was watching Jules, love Jules as a Pats fan, hoist the trophy. That was great. Walking to school the next day with my Gronk jersey. Like, yeah, what's up? What's up? Oh, you were laughing last year. What's going on now? Yeah, you don't have shit to say to me. And then I also went to the parade and got some amazing pictures. That was great. Tom Brady looked right at me. So top 10 moment of my life. But yeah, that's got to be mine.
That's awesome. I was at the parade too, and we didn't even know each other yet. So we could have just crossed paths
Prequel.
and, this
prequel lore.
This is a Marvel post-credit scene. It's like CJ Medeiros will return in Fumblerooski pod. But listen, I'll tell you what isn't my favorite, because I hear this Super Bowl, as every Patriots fan's favorite Super Bowl, except the cool ones, the ones who actually know ball and aren't completely unbiased children.
Jeez.
But Super Bowl 51 is absolutely, if that is your favorite Super Bowl, you don't actually think that was a good Super Bowl. You're in love with the emotions that you went throughout that game, going from despair to complete joy. And I get it. Like, that's a complete, unbelievable high. But you were doing laundry in the third quarter. The game was boring up until like midway through the second, when anybody scored. Nobody realizes this, but there was no score through one quarter. And then Seattle jumped out to a 21-3 lead
for Atlanta
in the second quarter. Atlanta. I have a different bird. The Falcons jumped out to a 21-3 lead. It's like, all right, they have some digging to do. Then it's 28-3. My entire family left the room, and they didn't come back for a very, very long time. I was still watching, but I was half on my phone. I was laying down. I was just sitting there eating food. And I gotta say, like, it was, for the most part, it was not a good Super Bowl. I understand it was a great Super Bowl. It ended up in totality being a great Super Bowl. But outside of those that last quarter of the game, it was boring. It only got exciting at the very end. And those, that last quarter counts. There's a reason why there's 4 quarters in a game. But I cannot stand it when people say, no, Super Bowl 51 was the greatest Super Bowl ever. Like hell it was. Great comeback, great overall game, but it wasn't the greatest of all time. Super Bowl 49 was the best. But I've already touched on both Super Bowl 49 and 53 in my Super Bowl memories, going back on these 6 Super Bowl specials. What I'm going to give you is Super Bowl 55. And that was our first year doing the Fumblerooski podcast. We started just before that the playoffs of the 2020 season. It was a few weeks left in the regular season. We knew Tom Brady was going to be in the playoffs. And, so it was interesting. So our college was just coming back to campus, right? And so right before I tested positive for COVID, and I had to wait a few days to come in. And I got in trouble because I had gone out earlier that day, my parents were mad at me. And I'm just like, it was through CVS, and they had gone through all these false positives, right? So after a few days of testing negative, I found out it was a false positive. And then I spend about a week at home, and I go back home, and I go back to school with a little bit of a cough. Then it gets a little more prominent. Turns out I then did test positive for COVID, and I gave it to Tuck, who was my roommate at the time. So we all had to watch the Super Bowl, all of us, while being quarantined in our homes. My entire family was sick. So we're just sitting there watching. And this was around the time when, so I wanted Tom. I was at a point where I was so pissed at the Patriots because they weren't doing enough to surround Brady with any talent. I knew Brady wanted out. So I was like, all right, you know what? Go ahead and do it. At that point, he was starting to be considered kind of a system quarterback.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I was like, I knew just if he could just leave and prove that he could be good, just make an AFC championship, be Joe Montana on the Chiefs or Brett Favre on the Vikings. It'd be like, okay, that'll shut people up. They go and win 4 straight as a wild card team. One of the only teams in the past 15 years to win the Super Bowl as a wild card team. They won 4 games on the road against some of the best quarterbacks of all time, by the way, against Drew Brees, against, Taylor Heineke in the wild card, but Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. You had to beat those 3 guys in there. Well, you had to beat those 3 guys. 2 of them were on the road. And I understand they had a home Super Bowl, but come on. Super Bowls are different. It's just, those Super Bowls are so different. Even if they're in your house, it's a neutral crowd. Everyone's buying their tickets way ahead of time. You might have a good amount of Buccaneers fans, but it's a neutral site, essentially. So when you get to that point, it was, I expected it to be a closer game than it was. Because earlier on in that season, it was, it was a 1-score game. The Chiefs were running away with it, but they came back and they only lost by a field goal. The Buccaneers blew them out, as you know, and Brady won Super Bowl MVP for throwing 3 touchdown passes, completed 77% of his passes. That was one of my favorite games to cover because I did pick the Buccaneers to win, and it was how I picked them to win that I take so much pride in. I knew that game was, if Brady could just have his time to throw, and on the Buccaneers side that they could break through and get to Patrick Mahomes, that would be game's over. I figured it would be a closer game, but I figured the game's going to be decided in the trenches. If Brady just has his time to throw, he can pick apart any secondary. And we ended up being right. I mean, Mahomes, he was still kind of a baby at the time. He was in just his 3rd year starting. And he was running all over the place. He threw 2 picks. He got sacked a bunch of times. He was running for his life. I mean, his offensive line was a mess, but again, you got to take care of the football. So that was definitely my favorite Super Bowl memory that I'll pick this year, is just being able to cover that. We had to cover it from our homes. We were a little sick. I did not have a sense of smell for like a year and a half, but just sitting there in my COVID-ridden home and watching Brady win his 7th Super Bowl and prove all of the critics wrong about him being a system quarterback. Meanwhile, Belichick's Patriots are going 7-9, dinking around with Cam Newton. They made the playoffs just once with Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, 11 years as a head coach, 11 different seasons as a head coach without Tom Brady, made the playoffs twice in those years. I like Bill Belichick. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great coach who, if he's given that quarterback, you'll win championships left and right. But he needs that quarterback.
I mean,
And
doesn't
that's
it go
always
for
gonna
like
be-
every coach though?
No.
I mean,
Andy Reid
to
didn't.
win.
Well, yeah, winning Super Bowls. but
Because
he
I
wasn't
mean,
even
Walsh
competitive.
didn't win anything without Montana. Shula didn't do anything even with Marino. I mean, he got there but didn't win. I mean, same thing with Tom Landry without Roger Staubach. So, like, I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, I'm talking about not just Super Bowls, just like
Oh,
being competitive. Like
fair.
at least Andy Reid, Alex Smith, and Donovan McNabb. And I know Donovan McNabb is a decent he's a pretty good quarterback, but the level of success that he experienced during those years. I mean, you were 3 points away from beating one of those Patriots teams.
Yeah.
I mean, with Donovan McNabb, that was a pretty good run. And I don't know if Belichick is capable of that. So, look.
Maybe if he wasn't the GM, probably. That was where a lot of the issues stemmed as well.
Yeah, listen, all I'm saying is he's a good coach. There are some knocks to his career. And I know that Belichick's a touchy subject right now as far as him being snubbed for the Hall of Fame. I never got to give a take on it. I think listen, I know a lot of people are offended. I think it's kind of funny. He didn't get in because the voters were petty. Belichick would never do anything petty like that, would he?
No,
never.
Of course not. He would never. He's not.
He could
no.
never. If you didn't chuckle a little bit at that, I know listen, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. If you didn't chuckle a little bit at that, like lighten up a little bit. It was kind of funny. All right.
They do that
We're
to
gonna move
Brady,
on.
though. It's Knives
What's up?
Out. I said they do that to Brady, though. It's Knives Out. I'm just saying.
You know, it can't happen to Brady. I can't see it happening to Brady.
I can't either. But a lot of people are saying, well, if you do it to Belichick, you should do it to Brady. And to those people, I say cancel your Sunday ticket subscriptions.
Yeah. Listen, we're drifting off from the topic.
Yeah.
Yours is Super Bowl 53, favorite memory. Mine is Super Bowl 55. Another Super Bowl with Brady in it. I was able to call it correctly. I called it about a month out that I thought they would win the Super Bowl. And they did it on the road against some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. That was pretty cool to watch and be able to cover that as my first Super Bowl doing this podcast. All right, we're moving on. NFL prop bets for the Super Bowl. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome back to the Fumblerooski podcast. Adam Wright, CJ Medeiros with you tonight on our 6th annual Super Bowl special. Okay, we're going to get into our Super Bowl prop bets. We do this every year. I forgot to read. I usually research this every year on the numbers. So CJ, while I'm bringing this up, could you just bring in the numbers for on the history of some of these bets? We're starting with the Gatorade bath. What color is the Gatorade going to be? So as you guys know, every year there is sort of that I'm talking right now while you're going through the research there. Every year, as you guys know, the Super Bowl winning coach, or I mean, it could be the quarterback, gets a Gatorade bath, gets the Gatorade dumped on him. We are trying to figure out, as we have done every year in covering this, what color was it? CJ?
Okay, so apparently the most common winner, according to Google AI, is orange. That has happened 5 times. It's followed closely by blue and then clear water with that yellow-green line thing. But recently, last year, it was yellow. It was for 2025. So last year, or, technically the 24-25 season. Last year, it was yellow. The year before that, it was purple. And it was purple, I believe, in 2023 as well, and blue in 2022 and 21.
Interesting.
Recent vintage. But orange is the most with 5.
Okay. I'm thinking. I want to go purple. I feel like there's very little correlation to the team colors. And I know we're all thinking it on the inside. We're all thinking color scheme, color of the Gatorade. But I just don't think there's a correlation.
No, there's really not. I mean, you can think that if you want. I don't think that's how it is. But look, for you, it might be looking a lot like purple, but I don't know. I will, as a matter of moral principle, I will not pick purple Gatorade because I hate the way it tastes.
Dude.
You know what? Give me blue. Not since 2022. Blue is due. Let's get that on a shirt. It's due. I'm telling you. It's
Great.
delicious.
I love great. Yeah, I mean, but like, it's not about what you like.
It's
know about what you think it's going to be.
I also just don't think it's going to be purple regardless. I just think blue, it's time.
Okay. So our next one, and I have the anthem singer right here. National anthem, over or under 2 minutes.
Who's the singer?
And the anthem performer is Charlie Puth.
Oh, the singer man. Yes, I've heard tell of him. I believe he's written and sung songs. Some of them I might even know. Can't name any off the top of my head, but I know he exists. You know what? Just for fun, let's just do 2. I'm gonna do a little over 2.
Let's
as
hang
it
on.
usually does. It seems like it's usually over 2.
Okay, right here.
We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore.
Yeah, he sounds like everyone ever. That's just how the industry sounds, okay. But I'm still going over 2. Why? Because that's usually just how it happens. I got no reason.
You've been running around.
He looks
I
like
heard
he
that
seems like
song.
the type. You know what? He seems like the type who would be artsy with the Star Spangled Banner. This pissed me off last year when we did it. So I remember last year. I forget who the anthem singer was. I think it was Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
And I was bold. I went under, even though he sings very slowly. And you know what he did, this son of a bitch? This guy changed the lyric. He repeated some things. And we were on track for it to be under. And I think it was just barely over. It pissed me off. But this guy seems to be the type who's going to modify the lyrics and repeat some parts of it. He's going to piss a lot of people off who are doing this prop bet. I'm going to go the over. He just seems like the type who's just like, he would just get artsy with it. He would change up the lyrics and he might do something slow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand why you think that. I'm inclined to agree.
Okay, so you're going over too?
I am also going over that, yes.
Okay. All right. Next. Super Bowl MVP. And do you have Kalshi pulled up to kind of look at some of the candidates? Because I believe.
Yeah, I'm not on it right now, but I do have Kalshi up. So
all right.
So just go.
Super Bowl MVPs. Just bring that up.
Working on it. So where the receptions, receiving yards, rushing yards. Okay, wow, I
don't know where it is. I know it was here.
It was. I feel like it might be under props though. So for those of you who don't do online betting, Kalshi is this app where you can like bet on anything. You can do sports. You can bet on anything like elections, the weather, like anything. If you can think of it, you can probably bet on it. Such is the beauty of Kalshi, I tell you. But they have a place where you could bet on the MVP as well. So
I'm not sure. Let's move. You can keep looking for that. I'm going to move on to the next one. And this one is on Kalshi. And this is a fun one. And Kalshi knew what they were doing when they put this one out. So a Seattle pass attempt at or inside the 1 yard line. Kalshi gives that a 15% chance. And I believe you can get quite the payout on this one. I think it was about just over 6 times the payout. Yeah, 6.2, 15%. So if you put in $100, that'll get you $529 back.
Wow.
That's one I might take. I got to say. I might
Are you
take
going to
that
take
one.
it?
I just think Seattle is so ostracized for throwing the ball at that 1-yard line. And I get that might scare Mike McDonald away from doing it, or Clint Kubiak. But it doesn't have to be with the game on the line. I mean, look,
You can do
it
it in the
depends
first
on the
quarter,
type of
yeah?
pass. Listen, I am not arguing that Seattle shouldn't have run it at the 1-yard line, or even that Marshawn Lynch wouldn't have gotten in. I would argue to you, how likely do you think it was that a screenplay, how far did that pass go by Russell Wilson? Like 6 feet at most?
Something to
quick
that
pass?
effect, yeah.
On a quick throw?
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but those plays those never get intercepted. And I would like to look at a chart of the likelihood that a pass from the 1-yard line gets intercepted versus a run from the 1-yard line gets stuffed. Because I guarantee you there will be, I strongly believe there's a higher likelihood that a run would get stuffed than a pass getting intercepted. And I guess my point is, like, the people saying that throwing the ball lost them the game, it's more just Malcolm Butler made a great play. I mean, that's my point.
True. Like, if you know the background of it, then yeah.
And maybe they just do it just to exercise the demons. You know what I mean? Like, maybe at one point early in the game they're in. I mean, 2018, the AFC Championship. One of the times the Patriots were at the 1-yard line. What did Brady do? He threw a pass. It also got intercepted, but not the best. Listen, not the best example, but I'm just saying, like, we've seen a lot of passes get thrown from the 1-yard line, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen it picked. In fact, I'm pretty sure it never happens. Like, there's the ones that we could think of off the top of our heads. The Russell Wilson interception at the goal line.
Yeah.
In Super Bowl 49. The 2018 AFC Championship, Brady threw one straight to the Chiefs defender. Like, yeah. So it's essentially just you remember it when it happens, which is, I mean, any interception is going to be, especially if it's at the 1-yard line when you're on the verge of scoring, it's going to be memorable. But how many 1-yard line touchdowns have we seen also that were thrown? Like,
by the way,
it happens all the time.
I don't see Super Bowl MVP anymore.
I guess they got rid of it.
Yeah,
it's on DraftKings too. We could check on DraftKings.
Working on it.
But we could just give our predictions on who it is. Like, we don't need to use Kalshi. I like one of the interior linemen on either side. I strongly believe, and I don't want to give out my Super Bowl pick right away. I strongly believe this game's going to be a bit of a rock fight. I think both teams are going to do a good job of containing the other side. And it's going to come down to one of the players in the trenches who wins Super Bowl MVP. Whether that's on Seattle's side, it's Leonard Williams. Whether it's on New England's side, it's Milton Williams, Clavon Chasen, DeMarcus Lawrence. I think any of those players could win it. I think this is that type of game. Fun fact, the last time this game was played, this Super Bowl was played in San Francisco. Do you remember when that was?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Super Bowl 50. You know who won MVP?
Von Miller.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought Super Bowl 50 was no. I'm thinking of the other Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl. Now 50 was in
40. That was 48.
That
48 was played in New York, and that was Malcolm Smith. So another defensive player. I'm just saying this could be one of those games where, the most valuable player may not be either of the quarterbacks. Maybe the quarterbacks are making too many mistakes. You can't give it to one of them. And unless one of the wide receivers, like a Julian Edelman, outdoes themselves. I'm not sure if I see that happening unless it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think I think an underrated bet would be one of the defensive linemen for either team.
I would take that. Yeah. I understand. Well, I can't give mine because it's going to give away what I think would happen. See, that's the predicament here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should I just shelf mine, or what's the move here, man?
Just give. Well, give me a couple, because I didn't even give who I think is going to be the. Because if you give the Super Bowl MVP, then you're essentially giving who wins the game. Just give me,
except for that one year where a guy on the losing team won. I don't remember when that happened, but I know it happened once.
All right.
But so for me, there are a few ways I could see the Super Bowl going. And like you said, it's going to be a rock fight. I can see that if it's a rock fight and one player is like a breakaway score or something to that effect, I could definitely see that said player winning it. I don't know if it's going to be one of the quarterbacks, because the Patriots offensive line, especially on the left side, has been struggling mightily. And the Seahawks O-line is fine, but the more you look into it, especially like this season and in the interior, they haven't faced an interior quite like New England. So that could be potentially iffy. Therefore, I call me crazy, but I think it's going to come down to which receiver makes the bigger play. So we're looking at either JSN. I could see Cooper Kupp running it back, because if JSN gets locked up, then, you got Cooper Kupp dominating from the slot. And I could also see Stephon Diggs, all that frustration of coming up short year after year, boiling over. I mean, you saw what he did against the Bills, and he had a few other games where he just completely took over and got over 100 yards. I could see that happening again. Also, with Seattle's inability to cover tight ends, I could see Hunter Henry getting that as well, on 7 catches, 80 yards, and maybe a tutty or two. So I think it's going to be a pass catcher. I'll leave it at that.
I know you wanted to run through some mentions on the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give me a couple?
All right. So we're looking at Kalshi here again, good friends over at Kalshi. And you can bet on mentions, and that's huge. So basically, will it be brought up during the broadcast? So these are some things that I myself would vote yes on. First up, Rob Gronkowski. Definitely, I would say yes. So whereas someone like Tom Brady, I think, is a slam dunk to get mentioned, Gronk, maybe not as much. It's only a 62% shot. And I would say you hammer Gronk. Marshawn Lynch as well. Odds are a little better at 73, but I still think they're not super obvious. So there's still some room for you to make a decent amount of money. And look, call me sarcastic, call me whatever, but if you're there, throw a buck or two on them mentioning Patrick Mahomes because it's Chris Collinsworth. It's a 71% shot. It has decreased a bit because I think it was at 73. So if it keeps decreasing, you hammer that. And now things that I think they're not going to mention. The turf, 38% chance. I don't see that. Next, fines. I don't see why. Now here's the thing. Fines is at a 67% chance. I don't think they will. That could very well be some free money if you bet no. And of course, I got 2 more. If you're feeling risky, then, oh boy, do I have something for you. So say no to the West Coast. They're talking about, oh, we're on the West Coast or something like that. If they don't say those words and you're good, there's a 59% chance that they say that. I'm going to say no, be bold. But if you want to be even bolder, the odds of them mentioning Stephon Diggs' girlfriend, Cardi B, have dropped to 54%. That's practically a 50-50 split. I'm saying run with that.
That's going to be, yeah. That's absolutely a mention. I
not run only with that at 54%. You run with that.
How much money are you making to if you pick it though?
Okay, so Cardi B, let's just say I put $50 on it for yes. that would be $89. So that's still like 39 more in your pocket. I would definitely do that.
And
And
100?
it wasn't like in the high 50s, I believe, at one point, and it fell to 54, and it might keep falling. You can never
100?
can't make these trends.
What does 100 get you? Just quick math.
Okay, so if you bet 100, then you get 179. So you're making over half your money back. So you got an extra 79, or over 3/4 of your money as well.
I like it.
So yeah, I'm running with that. Those are my Cal Sheet picks. Download the app and fire away.
All right. We're going to move on. We're going to get to our food draft. So we're going to load up our plates of all of our favorite Super Bowl foods. We're going to figure out whose plate is better. That's up next. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome back to the Fumblerooski podcast. Adam Wright, CJ Medeiros, our 6th annual Super Bowl special. One more day until that lauded day, the Super Bowl. 60th Super Bowl. I can't believe we're on 60, by the way. Feels like yesterday we were in the 40s. All right.
Fun.
Yeah. So Super Bowl food draft. What we used to do, and this is when the only reason we're deviating from it this year is because there's only 2 of us. Usually we have 3 or 4 of us. But we go around the table and we pick a food to put on our plate. Whoever puts the best food on their plate wins. CJ, you want to pick one?
Yeah. So off the rip, I would say give me a fan favorite. Honestly, just give me some nachos, man. There's so many ways you could do that. You know, like extra cheese, extra meat. You want spicy, throw in jalapenos. The options are endless. Just give me that. Wait, also, how many are we doing for pick?
4.
All right, cool.
So what
Google.
I am going with for my first one is wings. Give me buffalo wings. I want blue cheese with them. Blue cheese isn't a food. It's with the food.
No, yeah,
You
you're
have
right.
to.
You're right.
You have to do this. It's not an option. It's to do. And we'll pick one beer, by the way. We'll pick one drink just to.
So 4 and a drink.
Yeah, 4 and a drink. Let's pick a drink. Yeah, you can't. It's un-American to watch football without wings at the Super Bowl. It's just unless you can't do it, unless it's this. It's just not possible. You can't just say, you know what? Let's do without wings. Who needs those? Now I know which house I don't want to go to.
Amen.
So yeah, give me wings.
Yeah.
As
I
far
thought
as
about wings too, but I kind of want to do like my own thing, you know, which is why I'm going. My next pick's going to be a little bit out of left field, but I'll see your wings and I will raise you I almost said, well, I will raise you ribs, man. If you're getting them slow cooked ribs falling off the bone, just biting into it, you can die a happy man. You can get all kinds of sauce with that. You can get barbecue. I recently tried honey mustard with ribs. God damn, that's good. And hell, you get a buffalo ribs too. So just you want real meat that's easier to eat. Pause, no diddy. Rub me my ribs.
a fascinating argument indeed. However, for my pick, I'm going to go with
Drum roll, please. Brisket. All right.
brisket.
All right. I see.
Easy to go with. You really can't go wrong with this. Listen, I love my meats. Not pause. We're not doing that.
Oh, I did it as a joke earlier, but okay.
Buffalo wings, brisket. We have our proteins. Protein. It tastes good. I love it. It's this is game food. This is what you're watching the Patriots take on the Seahawks for.
Hey, I hear you. I do. Protein's important. We love it. Now, consider this. What about for me? I'm going with mozzarella sticks. Once again, And mozzarella sticks are one of those things where if you have marinara sauce or if you have buffalo or whatever, you can do that. But you can just eat them by themselves. They're that good. They're that addictive. They're that good. You get a good cheese pull going, get a little crunch going, and you're laughing. I'm running with mozzarella sticks.
All right. That's a good one. I like that. And I'm glad that you didn't pick mine because I was starting to think you would. But mac and cheese. It puts the comfort in comfort food. I've loaded my proteins in. I need something that is just it's a little bit of a counter to that. And mac and cheese it's what I have to go with. There's no option. There's no other option here.
All right. Hey, I see it. I do. Now for me, honestly, I'll go with one more protein here. Give me some sliders. Fan favorite, you got a little burger in your hand, just chomp down on that. You can have as many as you want. I don't recommend it, but you can definitely knock back like 5 if you're a real one, that is. But yeah,
if I am not a real one, then lock me up. I cannot stand sliders. I want to know what got people to invent sliders, because people really took a bite out of a big old cheeseburger, big old pound of Angus beef, and they said, you know what would be great if these things were smaller.
Okay, well,
like, who the
hold on. I get it. I do. But the thing is, sliders are better. They're a better party food, is what I'm saying. You see, there are levels to this. You got to understand the levels. Billions must understand here. So a regular burger, that's cookout stuff. That's cool. But I'm not going to eat like 3 whole cheeseburgers during the Super Bowl. Nah, sliders. Because, you see, a burger will fill you up. But if you're at a Super Bowl party, the point of food is variety. Maybe I want to have a little burger and some nachos and some ribs. Like, if I eat a whole ass burger, I'm not going to be able to eat anything else.
You got to have the appetite, man. Starve yourself. Fast. Do something. Just work out beforehand. I can eat a cheeseburger and I can do all of this, but I've already been outlawed years ago from Chris Kostich from doing cheeseburgers. And you know what? Since he's not here to defend himself, I am not going to break that rule because I'm a good person.
Oh,
fuck you, Chris. You're the one who set this rule. Otherwise, I've had a big old bacon cheeseburger right in front of me. But I can't do that because we can't have nice things in this country. Okay. I'm going to change the rules again, and we're going to add one dessert because I was going to pick a dessert, but I'm like, we're not going to do that. And you know what I'm going to pick for my last food on my plate?
Okay.
I'm going to pick the most infamous chip when it comes to games, Doritos. I've already done 2 proteins. I don't need a third. I don't need that many carbs. Mac and cheese is about as empty as it gets, and cheese is loaded with. I'm thinking too much in terms of health here. This is the problem with being a personal trainer. Is that it's a bad habit, but I like thinking a little bit about what I'm eating. So I like it, like you said. I like putting some variety on my plate, and Doritos it adds a little bit extra variety. But all right, CJ. Not the drink yet. Pick a dessert.
Now, I usually don't have dessert with Super Bowl, so you throw me for a loop here. But, call me whatever. Call me uncivilized. But honest to God, like, what's wrong with a brownie, Store-bought, make them your own. There's variety. You could do blondies. You could do peanut butter brownies. You could do cakey, fudgy. There's the obvious centerpiece or edge piece debate. But there's so many variations you could do with it to the point where, and so much stuff you can put on it or in it, where everyone's got to like some version of it. Give me that. Just you get a whole plate of them. Watch them disappear.
Okay. I'm glad you didn't pick mine because I am going with, and I'm typing these graphics as I'm putting it in. Cheesecake.
Never once have I been watching a football game and said, yes, I would like some cheesecake. Although it's good, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I love cheesecake. I love cheesecake. I love cheesecake. I could do a cheesecake in front of the Patriots. I like cheesecake.
Chad, I think he likes cheesecake.
It's pretty good. Listen, I don't care about the flavor. I'll do anything. Give me strawberry. Give me, I don't know, some sort of apple. Like, give me crumb cake. Any sort of cheesecake. Any cheesecake is good. I love it.
Mm.
All right. Give me one drink. One beverage.
I'm not the biggest alcohol connoisseur in the world. I want to say Coors Banquet in honor of our boy Chris, but I don't feel like honoring Chris right now. Just give me an Angry Orchard. Just give me Old Reliable. You're not going to get hammered off it, but it tastes good, gives you a good time. That's really all I want. I'm not looking to get just shit-faced off it.
And that is what's good about Angry Orchards, is that you can have one or two drinks and not, you don't have to drink a bunch of them to feel a little something. Listen, pause. What I'm going to do when it comes to my drinks, you could always pick something that tastes good, but that's for picking things that are just like, what's the point of drinking if you're only just going to go, like, you're already picking you're eating your buffalo wings here. You got your buffalo wings here. You got your brisket, your mac and cheese, your Doritos, your cheesecake. You know what tastes good. Now you need something that tastes like garbage. And you know what that is? Beer. You drink beer. And I'm going to go with Corona. Nice little Corona.
I'm sorry, just you need something that tastes like garbage. And that should be Arby's new slogan, but it is what it is. The way you said that was just funny. I'll give you that. Yeah.
You never drink beer for the taste. That's my general point. And when it comes to that, I'm not really picky. Give me a Corona, give me a Sam Adams, give me a Miller, give me a Michelob. I just don't care. And I've been getting into the Mexican beers lately. So I'll roll with that. All right, so those are our plates. You guys let us know which one is the best one. I think we held our own. Like these are some damn good drafts. Probably the best one we've had in a while.
I think so.
All right. We're going to step aside. Final Super Bowl predictions coming. That's next. This is Fumblerooski Podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome back to the Fumblerooski Podcast by Power 88 and Secret Weapon Consulting. Adam Wright with CJ Medeiros. Excuse me. Still fighting through a cold here. Final Super Bowl predictions. Again, the line is 4.5. The spread is 45.5 points. CJ, give me your final Super Bowl prediction. Try to be quick.
Okay, so at the end of the day, I just got to look at the makeup of both teams, because honestly, I think the Patriots do edge Seattle out in coaching, but Seattle is just more complete and they have more raw talent. And Adam, I know your argument about the team with the better quarterback usually wins. I do think Drake May is better than Darnold, but Darnold has been playing mistake-free football as of late. I won't say game manager like, but he's not. But the offense is still running through JSN and not so much him. The Pats defense, I think, is going to make life a living hell. And if you think Drake May is not going to get his licks in, you're wrong. I think this is going, like you said, I think this is going to be a rock fight. It's going to be a low-scoring slugfest. And I like Seattle coming out probably like 23-17.
Okay. So I think Sam Darnold has been too good. Way too good for his own play style. I obviously don't believe the seeing ghost Darnold is it's not that Sam Darnold anymore. I think he's a good quarterback now. But I do think he has some choking tendencies that you don't have to go pre-COVID to his seeing ghosts game to really look for. You can look at just last year, week 18, he sucked. He lost the number 1 overall seed. And then in the wild card round, just 1 week later, he sucks again and he loses in round 1. A 14-win team down the drain. Fast forward to just this season, playing the Rams. They lost by only 3 points. Actually, 2 points, rather. You know what happened? Sam Darnold threw 4 picks. And he turned the ball over multiple times in their second game. It took a bunch. It was a gutsy performance by Darnold. Don't get me wrong. But with all of the turnovers, that fluky 2-point conversion, if you remember that.
Yeah.
That a lot of things had to go right in that game. And on top of that, you barely beat the 49ers team. So like you can kind of see like towards the end of the season, he's coming out of it. And then he blows the doors off of the 49ers the second time in the playoffs. He didn't have to do much, but they blew him out. And he played very well against the Rams, beat him by 1 score. They won that game because of Sam Darnold, because he played very well. That being said, I just think there's so much recency bias around the national media towards the Seahawks. And I think these teams are so much more evenly matched than people think. With that in mind, I think this is going to be a rock fight. And I think Darnold is going to suck in this game. But you know who else is going to suck? The other quarterback. This is going to be a defensive rock fight. Both teams are going to struggle to score. And I don't think it's going to be Super Bowl 53. I think it's going to be closer to the 2015 AFC Championship game where, you know, it's just one team fails to reach the 20s and it ends up being like a 20-19 ball game. I'm going to take Seattle 21-19. I think whether it's a failed 2-point conversion, a missed PAT, something is going to go wrong for the Patriots where you're going to look back and say, ooh, if that just went right. 21-19, Seattle takes it. And it's not going to be a pretty game. Probably one of the least entertaining Super Bowls of all time. I mean, maybe it'll be cool at the end. Maybe some sort of score happens right at the end. But I see this one being Seattle takes it.
Yeah, I understand.
Just a few less mistakes. But this is a coin flip. I do see this as a coin flip. Anyone who is telling you that it's not even close, that Seattle's going to take it, they're either lying to themselves or they're misinformed. But I just don't. I think the talent gap is not as large as people are saying it. Too much recency bias. The Patriots haven't played the best during their postseason run, but we've seen how they've played during the regular season. I think some things get better, some things aren't as good, and this one's going to be a close one. Make your pick on who wins this game. But I'm going Seattle 21-19. All right. There's our Super Bowl picks. Anything else before we end the show today?
Chris is going to yell at us. That's all.
Probably, if he actually listens to this episode. I mean, he's the one who thinks that sliders and cheeseburgers are the same thing. And again, I'm pissed off at the.
They're not. I will tell you outright. I even said they're not. But you know, that's Chris. We love him, but that's still Chris.
Just the very invention of sliders pisses me off. Like somebody took a bite out of a big old cheeseburger and said, "This would be great if it was smaller and less enjoyable." It's like, screw you, people. All right. Well, there's my rant about sliders for the night. All right.
But
everybody
we're informed.
Yeah, exactly. You guys all enjoy the Super Bowl 60. These are always fun to do. It's almost like a holiday. It basically is a holiday in the United States. It's always fun to go through. The commercials, you know, the halftime performance, all of that. everyone has a reason to watch the Super Bowl. I love it. It's a family event. All right, y'all. That'll do it for us tonight. Thank you for listening to us. We have all our episodes on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and so much more. Also, be sure to follow our Instagram at Fumblerooski_podcast to keep up with our podcast and latest coverage on the NFL. We're also on YouTube as well. Just type in Fumblerooski Podcast. Otherwise, we will see you after the Super Bowl. Everybody enjoy the game. Over and out.